Hey guys, this is going to be a short video just kind of on, it's about a product review. It's randomly a product review. Um, just different things that I like. I was actually at Texas Art Supply today, and these little things of Speedball ink that I like so much that I've shared with you before that have this really nice big opening for you, they're $2.05. That's what they're listed at Texas Art Supply. And I know that those state art supply stores like Alabama Art Supply, whatever art supply, they usually give a student discount. All you have to do is show your student ID. And my total went from 21 to 19. That's like two whole bucks. So, yeah. Another thing that I like is, there it is. I went to the store because I had to buy another bottle of this. This is my favorite black ink. It is Dr. P.H. Martin's Black Star High Carb. High Carb? High Carb. Yeah. But this is great because I have used this on terrible paper, bad, bad, bad calligraphy paper. But this high carb ink is not very runny. I mean, it's ink like ink is supposed to be like, obviously. But it does not make the paper thirsty. Even if you have really bad acid paper that's very thirsty, this stuff does not bleed as bad as, say, if I'm going to use this more watery ink. And this is still Dr. P.H. Martin's, but it's not a high carb ink. It is still an India ink though. I do like the India inks for starting out because they do tend to run less. Um, if you're going to buy a brown ink, be careful. So I'm about to tell you something about inks and stores. The calligraphy section in a lot of stores doesn't see a whole lot of traffic. I'm in Houston, so my stores see a decent amount of traffic, but this still happened to me at Texas Art Supply. I love them, but it still happened to me. I bought a bottle of terracotta ink that I had to throw away because I was wondering, I was like, wow, like this ink is so thick, it's clogging in my nib before I can even get a sentence out. Like, what's wrong with this? And the thing was that, say I open this. This is what your ink should look like. It should drip like this. It should be runny ink. Um, Mine was oozy and stringy. That's slime in the bottle. It happens mostly with browns. Slime in the bottle happens whenever ink has been sitting on a shelf for years and years. And the reason why um, I'm about to talk about walnut inks is because they're made from walnuts, not minerals. A lot of your brown inks are made from minerals that come from dirt. Some of these companies can't really bleach the dirt because then it won't be brown. So there are bacteria that can grow in brown pigmented inks that are heavy in minerals that come from the ground, aka dirt. That's not to say that brown inks are dirty. That's just to say that slime in the bottle could happen to them. Because that bacteria is in those minerals, and once it's been sitting on a shelf for years, and like I'm talking like it had to have been sitting on the shelf for 6 or 7 years, kind of thing, or have been in a very hot, humid storage type area for a long time. So if you notice in your art supply store that some of your inks have like dust on them, your black's going to be fine. Your blues and your greens are going to be fine. Those inks will last forever. But if there is dust on top of the browns, be careful. If you get slime in the bottle, take it back. Let them know. Show it to them. And sometimes the people who work there aren't really into calligraphy. So explain to them that it is completely useless to you. You can tell if a bottle has slime in it when, and I'll just show you, like you can see the ink here, right? And this ink doesn't really settle, but a lot of your browns will settle since they're mineral based. There we go, no glare. But you'll see the sediment at the bottom, which is the minerals, and then you'll see kind of like the other off color of the ink. If there is a layer of anything that looks mucusy or gray right here in between that sedimented mineral and the rest of the ink base, that has slime in the bottle. So kind of like whenever you're taking something off the shelf, it's a brown ink and you're looking at it, check for a layer of gray or mucusy color. If there is no gray or mucusy color, odds are there is no slime in the bottle. So you don't need to be scared. But this did happen to me when I first started out. So don't always shake the bottle when you first pick it up. So that's why I say, be careful when you buy brown inks or off brown inks or anything like that. In fact, if you're going to buy brown ink, buy something called walnut ink that's made from walnuts, and it is like the perfect sepia. Sepia? Don't know. But it's the perfect brown. It's really great because if you go over a stroke, you get this really great, like, darker brown. Artists mainly use it whenever they're doing painting because they can do an entire sepia print with one walnut ink, but they've got all these different shades because it shades so well. And you kind of do want to pick an ink to begin with, kind of something like this, kind of something like what I was just telling you about, that will show you how it shades. Because if it shades well, it it'll tell you, it'll give you a little bit of like a warning of when you're running out. That shade will get lighter and lighter because you're not depositing as much ink onto the paper. Oh, Brad moved. You're not depositing as much ink onto the paper, so it's not going to be super dark. But if you're practicing your downstrokes and where to put your pressure in cursive calligraphy on a pointed nib, it is perfect for letting you know and letting you see your downstrokes, and really, it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. I don't want this to be a super long video, so I'm gonna wrap that shit up. I'm not happy with this one. Now, usually with Speedball stuff, I am super happy with their products. I haven't had a problem. Their products are not super, super great, but for the price, they're excellent. I bought this because it was cheaper. I bought this instead of another one of these because this ink, fellas, is $7.50 at my store. This I think was $4.50, and I was like, all right, black ink is black ink. No, it's not. So for one, the bottle leaks. I've never had a bottle leak on me before, and I don't know exactly how it happened. It's been happening since day one. So I have to make sure I always keep this thing, this, all the time. Which is, I like to travel sometimes with my stuff. This is not a good traveler, not a good traveler. The ink quality itself is not even that good. I had to check to see if it was fountain pen ink because it spread so badly and was so watery. The pigment is okay. I mean, it's black, but it's so runny and thin. Not a good buy, not a good buy. Everything else, Speedball, has been pretty good though. Pin handles, nib holders. Since I was just there, I will give you a price check on that. Some of them are $2, some of them are $3. So something like this was $1, and something like this was $4, and something like my wooden one. Where's that wooden one? A plain wooden one. It looks just like this. It's just plain. It was $3. So not too bad, not too bad. So I hope you enjoyed this product review video. It wasn't super extensive, but I haven't been very super extensive with my buying. I have to say that probably the reason why my bullet journaling and calligraphy supplies are so much is because you can buy little bits and pieces at a time. And it's not super cost effective from the start. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. So I hope that this review has helped you to stay away from some of the more trouble products, help you out as far as, the dangerous slime in the bottle. Because when it happens, you're like, I didn't even know that could happen. It just really hits you out of nowhere. And when you're first starting out, you want to minimize as much of that kind of negativity as possible, especially if it's something you're doing to relieve stress. Knowledge is power, and being prepared is important, especially to people like me who get freaked out about different things. But if you have a product that you really like and you would like to share it with other viewers, please leave it down in the comments and maybe I'll even check it out and get my own. If you're thinking about trying something that you've never tried before, you know, request product reviews on things. Like I'd be interested in doing that for you guys. So happy crafting. Bye.